All right, and let's see. Cool, give me the picture. Come on. All right. And copy that. Still can't upload a custom thumbnail right now because reasons. At everyone. How to plan your month of game dev. All right, boom. Yes, and now. Okay, and we'll pop out the chat. Pop out chat. Keep it on top. And gonna hop over to the assets, I believe. Minimize this. And bring this in. Okay, so the thing that I want to do right now is organize myself to kind of get an idea of what should be or could be accomplished by the end of this month. Right now, we have DC and London that are pretty much done. You know, of course, like I said, they're at their 80 or 90% mark, but that's basically done in my book as far as what I want to get things to, because later on I could put polish on. You know, little details that don't really matter right now, just kind of pushing those aside. So DC and London are done. I'm in the middle of modeling Paris, and Berlin, Morocco, and Moscow have not been modeled at all. Just have their gray boxing, and they'll be taking some assets from other things. Otherwise, they're completely blank slates. So what I can do is, let's see, hop over to my OneNote, and I'm gonna make a new page, and I'm gonna call this, I'm just gonna call this month, December 2021. Memories of a Spy. Art/assets plan. All right. And what I want to do is get a concrete idea. Let me lower this a little bit. I'm going to get a concrete idea of how much work is ahead of me if I wanted to finish these cities by, say, the 31st or the 1st of January or something. So we could say here that the goal is finish all the cities to about their 80 to 90% mark by the 31st of December 2021. Okay, so that is the goal. How do you change the headers up in this? This thing? Where is it again? Ah, here we go. There we go. Heading or page title or citation quote. Say heading 1 is good. All right, so that's the goal. And we could break this down into, so to do, we have 1, which is Paris, then we have Berlin, then we have Morocco, and Moscow. All right, so it's 4 things that we have to do. And for each of them, we have actual buildings. Okay. Actually, I'll say buildings and props. Okay, so that's good. This, and it'll be for each of them. Like this. Okay. Same thing with this one. Boom. Oops. Okay, and this one. All right. and we'll turn that into a checklist. Okay, so that's what's ahead of me. Now, there is sort of a different amount of things per, let's see if I make this bigger. So in Paris, a lot of this is already done. We're very close. I suppose what I could do is I could even include this, maybe a Trello board is what I would do better in. Should I do that? Let's do that. Let's actually make a little Trello board. So my to-do today, I'm gonna call this December 2021. And we'll put a label on it too. Create a new label that will be, let me see, what colors do I have? Kind of already have all the main ones. Maybe we don't need a label on it necessarily. Okay, so I'm gonna open up December 21 and we'll add a checklist. So this is going to be a checklist for Paris. We'll add in a checklist for Morocco, or actually Berlin next, and then a checklist for Morocco, and finally Moscow. Okay. And I'm just gonna copy and paste this stuff into there, right there. Paste it in. All right. So in Paris, let's see. Paris, we need to finish buildings. Actually, I don't know why I'm putting finished buildings. I'll just put buildings. And then we'll say, because buildings is like a catch-all. Then we'll need foliage, right, for trees and stuff. Then we have all this stuff is done. And some of these things, some of these items are going to be made by Tubinar Studios. So instead, I'll put like, because I'm thinking about what's going to be on my plate, and I'll put like texture, Tubinar Studios models. Okay. And I'm looking at this and I'm trying to gauge how much work, like this is just a total like a feeling thing. I mean, you know, experience of course is helpful here, but let's see. I also want to make sure. Let's see, is this, oops. Okay, good. Yeah. So I was like leaning into the mic right now and I didn't know if it was catching. Okay, so texturing, got the buildings and foliage stuff. Anything else in here? I think that's pretty good. Okay. And what else is there though? There is the interior, the jazz club. That's already kind of I already have floor plans for all these things, so I think that's actually decent. Oh, you know what is kind of shitty though that I haven't exactly figured out? Did I? Yeah, the agency. So I never figured out the agency thing. So what I need is agency research, modeling, texturing. All right, so that's kind of a big one. Tony Hamilton says, hey there, what's up, Tony Hamilton? How's it going? Sunny says, hey, Steven, got a question for you. Got any advice for thinking of ideas for your game? Because I kind of have a writer's block with my game that I'm working on right now, and I don't know what to do. So what's your game that you're working on right now? Why don't you tell us a little bit about the game first? Because there's so many different ways to get over writer's block. I don't know if you have text, speech to text or something, but writer's block, like writer, W-R-I-T-E-R-S. I don't know if that was an autocorrect or something. Yeah, why don't you tell us about your game first? So this is what I need to do for Paris. Anything else? Let me see. Is there something? The jukebox. Okay, lobby chair, lobby plans. I'm trying to think if there's any sort of gotchas in here, little hidden things that I'm gonna have to do that I'm not like super aware of right now. Oh, you know what? We need to do ground level Yeah, I guess I shouldn't just make a catch-all for buildings instead, so I'll delete that. I'll do ground level buildings. I'll say ×3. Okay, and then I'll say 1 apartment building style, right? So this is the sort of upper floor pieces. Okay, so all pieces. I think that's a better idea of what it is. Oh, and then you know what we need is the Eiffel Tower. And then we're gonna need, what else? We have the stuff around La Seine, we have the sidewalks, we have a lot of these other little pieces. I have a lot of this already pre-modeled. I have the cafe, but as far as like building stuff goes, the facades and stuff, I think that's also good to go. I'm gonna say that this is good enough for now. That this list is about as helpful as it can be. So he says, it's a third-person controller where you play as a deer that's looking for her lost dad and mom. Don't want to say much about it, though. It's still in early development. Okay, so there's a million different ways that you can work on your projects, and whether you're making a video game or a movie or writing a story or making music or whatever it is, everybody's going to have their own thing, right? Duh. That's, you know, saying this is about as obvious as anything. Hopefully you really understand that, because there isn't one catch-all way. Like, the arts are not sciences. You put technical things into them, so there's some sciences that are involved in it, but in the end, there's not a paint by numbers way to do things. If you are painting by numbers, that means you're just recreating something that somebody's already made, right? But if you're making something that is unique to you, if you're actually trying to make something special, which I think you probably are, then what your main challenge is putting constraints on yourself. The main challenge of making something and of sort of overcoming what you might call writer's block is putting constraints on yourself and giving yourself a deadline. You have to be your own boss. You have to be like, you have to be your own professor, right? Like when the professor gives you an assignment and says the deadline is due by this time or whatever, you know, there's a lot of people who get through school who really like having that deadline, who like the assignment. They're given an assignment and then they go and they do it and complete it. But the moment they're thrown out into the real world, it becomes difficult for them because nobody's telling them, hey, you have to write your book, you have to make your movie, you have to make this album. So for a lot of people, it's easier when there's a prompt, you know, a thing that says do it. And the way that manifests itself in game development stuff is a lot of people actually get a lot further when they're in a game jam, right? So if you join a game jam, a lot of people actually get further and are more likely to complete their game than they would if they were just left to their own devices, and if it was just like, okay, go make a game and finish whenever you want, right? Scope creep kind of comes in. It's like, okay, their project becomes huge and everything. But more importantly, the thing that happens when you're doing a game jam is that because there's a deadline, you're forced into thinking what the simplest and clearest version of your game is. I think the key word there is finding what the clearest version of your game is. The simplest is, you know, how simple or complex something is, it's up to you. Often, though, having the clearest idea of your game does mean that is probably closer to what the simplest version of your game is. So, if you have writer's block, what you need to do to overcome writer's block is just become excited about something, right? That's a very throwaway answer. Is just like, all writer's block means is that you're uninspired. When a writer doesn't know what to write next, it's because none of the ideas that they're coming up with are particularly exciting. So, you have to ask yourself, are you even coming up with ideas? Because a lot of people will just sit there and be paralyzed by sort of something magical. Case in point is yesterday. I didn't really do anything. I talked about this on the stream earlier today. I didn't do anything yesterday because I was sort of paralyzed and stressed out about the thought of redesigning Paris. My brain literally, every time it got to that part where it was like, okay, so what do you do if you opened up Blender and started working on Paris? I would I don't know how else to say this other than literally I stopped thinking about it. I got to that part, I imagined Blender opening, but then my brain says no more, go think about something else. And that manifests in a lot of different ways, whether that means that I pull out my phone and just swipe through Twitter or whatever, or I just go look at something else, or think about something else. I think about the other thing in the game or whatever. Or if you don't think about any of those things, then you just kind of go and you stress out and you go what am I, and then it becomes all these, it can be all these negative thoughts, right? So you have to ask yourself, are you even coming up with ideas? Is your writer's block a matter of you come up with a dozen different ideas a day and you don't like any of them? Or is your writer's block that you're literally just not thinking of any ideas? Your only job as a creative is to think of things and then to bring them into the world. You can't bring anything into the world if you're not thinking of it first. I know that sounds terribly obvious, but really sit down and reflect, are you thinking about solutions for your game? Or are you experiencing a sort of anxiety or stress paralysis? So I think that's the first question you have to ask yourself. So it sounds like the first tree, different story. So once you get to that point, once you sort of decide whether or not, so the two routes are, you do come with ideas constantly, right? You come up with a dozen ideas a day, and you don't like any of them. If that's the case, then you just keep going. You literally just keep going. And that's not writer's block. That's, people who are thinking up a bunch of different ideas that they don't like every day, they probably wouldn't really describe that as writer's block. I think typically when people describe writer's block, it's usually when they describe the paralysis part, where it's like they're not even really thinking about stuff, nothing is inspiring. So he says, it's like I have the idea that I think is good, but I see that it's a similar story to another game, and I just stress out and I don't want to do game dev. Okay, so that happened somewhere else in the Discord today, or not even in our Discord, but the official, the whatchamacallit Discord, the Huion one. So in the Huion Discord, here I'm gonna pull it up on my phone right now. There was a conversation. It's right here. In the Huion Discord, it says, "Well, shit, they beat me to it." And then Mr. Frapp posts a link to Sock Pop's new game, which is it's called Dungeon Ball. So it's like a dungeon crawler game with dodgeball. And he says, I mean, it's not really what I want to make. It lacks the kind of quality first person versus my idea of top-down third person. Seems kind of simple, not much to it. And my game setting is way different. Tony Hamilton, I'll put the link in here in just a second. You can also just Google it. If you Google Playmaker Huion Discord or Playmaker official Discord, it's usually the first result. So he goes on to say, seems kind of simple, not much to it, and my game setting is way different. But still, at what point do I consider not doing this project? Is my idea already too similar? I mean, to be fair, I was working on a prototype of a very similar dodgeball first-person game a while back. Do I do something else now? And what I said was, don't even think about it. Only one question to ask. Did they capture the essence of what you were trying to do? From the way you're talking about it, the answer sounds pretty clear, like a pretty clear no. So just keep your head down and keep pressing forward. And then he says, guess I'm just nervous to be called a copycat, right? I'm sure you can share some of that sentiment. And I said, you're not alone. It's uninspiring to make something that doesn't feel special. So, if you're making a game that just feels, if you said, what do you say? It's like the game that, it's like I have an idea I think is good, but I see that it's a similar story to another game, and I just stress out, and I don't want to do game dev, right? So like, you kind of have two options here. One option is you just trust that you're not going to make the same thing, right? You just keep doing what you were already planned about, what you already planned to do. Sorry, I'm getting my words are failing me right now. Right, so you could just keep pressing forward and do what you were gonna do. Or if you sat down with a pen and paper or in front of a text document, busted out like the trailer, maybe even ran, open that game, the game that you're comparing yours to, open that one up, whether you're watching the video or actually playing the game itself. Go through it and find which parts bug you and make you go, oh man, that's like my game, and now I'm stressed and I don't want to do game dev anymore. Find all those points and list them. Turn it into a list. Don't let that shit hide in your subconscious. Don't devalue putting things down on paper or in a text document, whatever it is. Like, I don't know how to stress this enough, but very often the thoughts that you're having don't make sense and are irrational. So when you put them down on paper, you're forced to put them in objective terms. You're forced to make it an empirical sort of logical, observable statement so that somebody else can read, so that it makes sense in reality. And so a lot of the times what ends up happening is people will realize that it was just a feeling, and that when you say it out loud, it sounds stupid. You go, oh, like, both of our games have a fox in it, and that's it. It's like, oh, our games are so similar. But then it's just a fox. And then you go like, well, what else is similar? It's like, well, theirs is in space and mine is a Western. That's nothing like it. It's like, well, theirs is third person, mine is a 2D platformer. It's like, well, that's nothing like it. And it's like you start going down this list, and then you realize like, okay, so the reasons I'm feeling like paralyzed are not very grounded in reality. So there's that, right? And if you don't just decide to press forward, right, that's the first way. You don't just keep your head down and press forward and trust that you're going to make something that's going to be its own thing. Then go through that list and change your game. Your game isn't done yet. You have all the control in the world. You're your own boss. So you could still change those things, right? Like, there's nobody, thankfully you're not contractually bound, or like, there's just nothing forcing you to keep your game the way you have it in your head at any given moment. You could change whatever you want. And if there's a part of you that goes like, oh, why should I have to change my game? Like, I should just get rid of it altogether because it's not the same if I change this one thing or that thing. Then, then there's nothing left to say to you. And it really is just like, do you sort of believe in yourself or not? The last thing I'll say, because I do got to get back to this thing, the last thing I'll say is that even if you tried with every ounce of your being to completely clone somebody else's game, you're going to fail. And you're going to end up making something original. Now, of course, like how unique and how original your thing is, yeah, it's not going to be as unique and as original, but you're going to find that like making a complete clone is so difficult, even when you try, that if you think about it, if you're just going to go make your own game that wasn't even supposed to be a clone of some other game, then whatever you end up making with that one is especially not going to be like the game. It's especially going to be different. So that's something to consider. You without even trying, you're going to make something original. It's so much harder to make something that's like an exact copy. I hope that helps. So Tony Hamilton, Sonny says, goddamn Steven, I don't know how but like, holy shit, I want to do some game dev right now. That was really inspiring what all you said. Like, seriously, thank you so much. Hey man, glad to be of help. Just get to it. Just do it. Just, I don't know, man. It's I totally hear where you're coming from too. I've been really uninspired too when I thought that something I was making was a lot like another thing. And then, you know, it just, you go to sleep one night and you wake up and you realize that shit is nothing like it. It's going to be my own thing. So just, yeah, have fun doing it, dude. And for Tony Hamilton, if you just search like official Playmaker Discord, yeah, first result. Yep, here it is. So this is for Tony Hamilton. I gotta go, but thank you so much. Yeah, you got it. Glad to have helped, man. Go make something cool. Okay, so let's finish off the rest of this checklist thing. See ya. Peace, peace, peace. Have a very good night or morning or whatever the hell it is for you. Sorry, I never remember anybody's time zones. So just have a good rest of your waking moments. Paris, this is all done. Eiffel Tower. Yeah, I think it's the park, the streets, hotel. I have all that shit. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so next, Berlin. Here we go. The agency. So this one also needs, I'm just gonna copy and paste this. Copy and then paste in Berlin. Tony Hamilton, thanks, just joined the server. Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't hopped in there already. You've joined my Discord, right? My personal Discord, the one with the links in the description. Berlin, so we have the Kino, we have all that stuff, texture. So I'll put this, because that's also a thing. So some of these are duplicates. Ground level buildings, Kino, a one apartment building, Eiffel Tower. Oh, and then we'll put like Sky Needle. And what else in Berlin? What else in Berlin? Oh, you know what? It needs that train. Yeah, train and... yeah, just train is fine. Okay. Oh, and then it needs, like, city, like, layout, ground stuff, right? That's kind of the big one. That's like a... laying all that stuff out. Oh, you know what? Ooh, shit. So the theater is sorted. The bar is not. Is it? Did I design the bar? I think I did, huh? It's not in here though. It's in... did I? I think I did. It was in that... it's in my iPad though, huh? I did it on there, I think. Okay, so that is done. Der Elefantenkopf is done. Hotel is not. So add that into Berlin. Hotel floor plans. Yeah, I joined you already, so yeah, okay. I thought so. I was just making sure. Hotel floor plans, okay. Great. Have all that stuff. Park layout in the trees. Okay. That's all good. So that's for Berlin. Next is Morocco. We're gonna put, there's no agency in Morocco. So let's just put this in here. Human Goose says hi. What's up, Human Goose? How's it going? How are you doing? I'm over here just prepping these sort of like mini checklists to get an idea of what I need to do, how fast to be finished with everything modeling wise by December 31st of this year. How are you doing? What brings you here? Texture Tube in our studios. Morocco, I'll say... It does need some layouty stuff, I think. Does it? No, I already laid out the hotel rooms. Oh, you know what it needs? It needs the, let's see, go to Morocco. We need the fancy hotel layout. And hotel cafe, that's all has the layout already. Cheap hotel, already laid out. 2-story bar, already laid out. Little cafe, already laid out. Little shops, streets, facades. Okay, good. I think, yeah, Morocco is surprisingly straightforward. And there's no agency there, so we can go straight to Moscow after this. Okay. Tony Hamilton says, hey, Steven, I have a small problem. In one of my projects, when I reload the scene, my physics are changed to default. For example, when I first load the game and touch something, the scene resets. But when the scene resets, then I touch something, it doesn't reset. Shit, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would have to really poke around in the project to debug something like that. I'm not quite sure. What method are you using to reset? Human Goose says, just dropping by. And then this face. Cool. Okay, Moscow is... Human Goose, do you have any projects going? Do you use Trello? If you do have projects, do you use Trello or do you use something to organize your projects? Moscow has... Oh, we need to... Geez, this is a son of a bitch. But I'll put the... God, these are whole endeavors. The agency stuff, that's a whole fucking thing for all of these. Okay. And then Texture, Tubinar Studio models. And what else? KGB... Perfumery, okay, all these things. I'll show you the code when I get out of the shower, for sure. You can post it in the help section of the Discord or something. And by code, I hope you mean FSMs, because I do read C#, but not particularly well. Turn off my heater just a second. I think the thing about Moscow is going to be designing modular pieces for GUM interior and exteriors. I think that maybe GUM will be kind of like the apartments. I'll say like each room like an apartment slash prefab. I think it could be something like that. Each room excluding interior details. Oh man, yeah, it's a C# script. Sorry, I was following along with the Unity course for scene reloads. Yeah, sorry. There's that Playmaker action level load or reset scene or something like that. That's what I use to reset. And it's literally just an action that you drag and drop in. And it resets the scene. Oh man. I feel like I might have been putting a little bit too much pressure on my balls in the way I was sitting. Sorry. You don't need to hear that. Okay, designing modular pieces for GUM. All right. The hotel, it needs to get hotel floor plan. You know what I'm kind of thinking is like, I do want to get to modeling Paris and stuff, but I think I'm in such a zone for pre-production shit. like not even modeling stuff, that I'd rather, next time I stream, I think I'm going to be doing all the floor plan stuff. That might be, or maybe I just finish Paris first. That will be solved tonight. Maybe I can go back and forth. We'll see. Hotel floor plan. And then, let's see, park. That's fine. Okay, great. And that's the last one. So, if this is the checklist for Paris, Berlin, Morocco, and Moscow, excuse me, and then I make another checklist and call this December, and I put it up here at the top. The first one will be Paris, second one will be Berlin, Morocco, and Moscow. Okay, so I could start checking these off, and that'll give me a little percentage to give me an idea of how close I am to finishing stuff. But let's see, what else do I could turn this into another thing where it's like, do you use your Huion for modeling? I haven't used my Huion for like going on 2 years now. The last time I used it was February 2019. That was the last time actually, that's not true. I did a little bit of stuff like a couple months after that. But the last time I used my Huion really was like the very beginning of 2019. So like March, April, maybe. So going on 2019 to 2020, 2020 to 2021. So going on 3 years. Holy... Wait, what? No, that doesn't make sense. 2020, the beginning of 2020 was the last time I used my Huion. That scared the shit out of me. I was like, time moves way too fast. Yeah, I haven't used my Huion since the beginning of 2020. Never used it for 3D stuff. I was only using it for 2D. Yeah, sorry to know. Not experienced in that realm. All right. So if I had, like, today's the second, tomorrow's the third. Let's look at some dates, right? Let's see. Here's the calendar. I'm gonna take a picture of it. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Let's put it like this and like that. So I have 7, 14, 21, 28, 29 days. All right, if I have 29 days, let's just say I have 30 days. It's not true, but let's just say I have 30 days, because I'll at least come close. Let's get some rough ideas. If I have 30 days, and I have 4, I don't know. Yeah, let's just call it 4 cities, because, yeah. So 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. So it'd be a week. It would be about a week per thing. I mean, that makes sense, right? Because 4 weeks in a month. If Paris takes me less than a week, so let's say 30 divided by 3, which would be 10 days each, I can start putting some dates on this. So let's say Paris, it's not going to take me 7.5 days. Let's say it takes me 5 days each. I think, or let's say it takes 6 days each. Well, Paris should take 5. Let's just say Paris takes 5. So tomorrow's Friday the 3rd, right? So this is where we start. Ooh, that's a big ass marker. Let's do like this. Okay, Friday the 3rd. That's 1, and then that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's the 3rd through the 7th. I'm gonna put Paris here is December 3rd through December 7th. Okay, and then we'll put a break here. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say it's 7 days even for each of them. I have a week to do each. Just to be, not to super stress myself out, right? To give myself a little bit of breathing room. All right. So December 8th through the 14th. Is Berlin. All right, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, is Morocco. That's December 15th through December 21st. Okay, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. That's Moscow, which is December 22nd through December 28th. All right, and that's broadly the plan. Now, there's gonna be holidays, you know, Christmas, but I have these 3 days. That's what these 3 days are for. These 3 days are my cushion, okay? Let's make it a different color even. Blue. Okay, here's my cushion days. Cause, you know what, I'm not even gonna select those. What I'll say is like the 24th and the 25th are probably gonna be, you know, we'll see how much work I do on that. The 31st and the 1st are also gonna be no-go days. Maybe, I don't know. What was my New Year's Eve last year? I'm just gonna assume that this is like time I'm spending with like friends and family and stuff. These 2 times, the 24th and the 25th and the 31st and the 1st. Okay, so let's say we finish all the cities. Yeah, let's just say by December 31st. That's fine. All right, because what I like the idea of doing is only working on those cities in their allotted time frame. So I'll put that down as a note for myself, right? So only work on the specified city in their respective time frame. Okay, you must move on to the next city when that time frame begins. Then at the end, after December 31st, you can go back and finish things up. Okay, oops. So that's kind of the plan. And now you could break it down even further, and you could say that, well, if I have December 3rd through the 7th for Paris, so I'll even copy this, and Paris will be called that. And I'll do the same thing with the other cities, Berlin, and Morocco, and Moscow. I guess I was saying both of them at the same time. Okay. Is there a way to collapse these? There isn't, huh? That's fine. Okay. So Paris, December 3rd through the 7th. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 5 days, right? So it's 5 days, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. The Eiffel Tower is not going to take me a full day. But let's put it as like top number 1. Let's do that day 1. Okay, so this will have December 3rd on it. Okay, that needs to be finished by December 3rd, tomorrow. I'll save the foliage for later. Let's do also Tubinar Studios should also go last because I don't know what he's going to be working on. Ground level buildings. Okay, agency can also go as one of the last things. This. Okay. There we go. Can I put... Does that make it bold? If I do this? Yeah, nice. Works for me. Nice. Okay, so the Eiffel Tower and 1 apartment building style all pieces should be done by tomorrow. And then on December 4th, I'll do ground level buildings. Okay. I want to time myself to finish a project as well, but when learning how to do something, I repeatedly cycle back to see how it works. I turn 20-minute videos into 35 minutes. Yeah, I mean, same. Yeah. It's only when I'm looking for something hyper-specific that I'm ever fast with tutorials. And that's like assuming that the tutorial is done well. You know, like sometimes I search like Blender, how you know, like today earlier, extruding, what is it? Extrude along normals or something. It's only because I knew exactly what I was looking for. Ground level buildings, I'll save that entirely for December 4th. And then foliage will be its own thing. That'll be December 5th. And then this will be December. And these are deadlines, by the way. That's not like when I start working on them. It's just like that's the date that I have to finish that thing by. So December 6th will be the agency stuff. And then Tubinar Studios stuff will be December 7th. Okay, so this is what the next 5 days of my life is going to look like. So hopefully by Wednesday, Paris will be done. We'll see. You know, we'll see if I can actually pull that off. And if it's not, I just have to keep going. I just move on to Berlin, and Paris is unfinished. I just have to keep going. Okay, so same thing with Berlin. So Berlin is the 8th through the 14th. What I should do is like make these all different colors. I'll change this to like yellow. Okay. And I'll do one for this, which will be green. And this one will be pink or purple? Purple. This one doesn't read as well. Let's do this purple. Like that. All right. So Berlin, here we go. 8th through the 14th, right? So that's 7 days. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things to do. So the agency is going to go second to last. Tubinar Studios is totally last. Sky Needle, let's just say it's the first day, just to kind of keep morale up. Oops. God damn it. Accidentally posted this in. Delete. Actually, I'll keep it up there. Why not? Yeah, that's actually convenient. Nice. I never put pictures, or I hardly ever put pictures in here, so that is kind of convenient. Okay, so Sky Needle. Let me copy and paste this now. I'm gonna copy these. Okay, so Sky Needle is the 8th, December 8th. And the train, let's put that the same day. I think that's a chill thing. Do both of those back to back, totally doable. The ground stuff, let's put that all for the 9th. Hotel floor plans, let's put, I guess that's the 10th. And then the agency research will be, oh, you know, I'm gonna say the hotel floor plans. And modeling. And same thing with, yeah, okay, that's fine. So it's hotel floor plans and modeling. So I have to come up with the place and model at least the building of it on December 10th, right? So that's why December 10th gets the whole damn day. And then we'll have December 11th for the agency research, blah, 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 blah. And then we'll say that texturing Tubinar Studio models will be for the 14th. Okay, so now I can go back and adjust and find where might I need additional time. Because it kind of looks, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm like totally overestimating myself. But there's a nice little gap here. There's a few days. Tony says, if you have a character from the Unity store, how do you change the color or style to make it your own? Well, you can always take the mesh of it. So however they packaged it when you download it from the Unity Asset Store, it's a file that exists somewhere. It's somewhere in your assets. So if you reveal it if you're using Windows, you want to reveal it in Explorer by right-clicking and clicking on Reveal in Explorer. If you're in Mac, it's going to be Reveal in Finder. And then whatever type of mesh it is, you should be able to import it to Blender. And then in Blender is where you could change its topology stuff. Changing the color could also potentially be as simple as modifying the materials that it comes with or modifying the textures that it comes with. It really just depends. A lot of people kind of, yeah, there's plenty of ways to do it. So yeah, those are some of them. Agency research, modeling, and texturing. So I could imagine that taking the 11th and the 12th. Taking 2 days. I think that's actually good because that's a good cushion for me. I think this is fine. I think this is fine. Okay. Because the agency research thing, that could be the biggest son of a bitch. Ah, you just saved me a lot of time. Right on. Nice. Glad to have helped. Okay, so next is Morocco, and that's from the 15th to the 21st. And it only has 2 things. But there's a lot to be done in Morocco. So, I'll say model and texture buildings. Okay. And I'll put fancy layout, hotel layout first. So that'll be done on the 15th. First thing I do, fancy hotel layout. You know what I'll do? I'll go as far as to say fancy hotel layout and modeling. And then model and texture buildings. Model and texture, I'll call this like remaining buildings. We'll say that this has got to be done by the 19th. Okay, so that's 4 days. And then lastly, the Tubinar Studios stuff that I'm going to be texturing will be done on the 21st. Okay. Yeah. So the 20th and 21st, I can have all that. Thanks a milli. Totes malotes. Okay, that's Morocco. Now in Moscow, Tubinar Studios is always last on that one, and agency research is always before it. Floor plan should go first. Design modular pieces for GUM environments. Okay, hotel floor plan. Okay, yeah. So this one will be the December 22nd. Okay. Hotel floor plan and modeling. So I think to do that, if it's just the rooms and stuff, that'll take me probably a day or two. So let's say that not the 23rd, but the 24th will be design the modular pieces for GUM. So let's call this December 24th. And then the agency research and all that stuff, this one will be for that one might take, so the design modular pieces might take me a couple days, plus that's Christmas, so I'll say the 27th. And then on the final day, I'll do Tubinar Studio stuff. Let's just say the whole day is texturing Tubinar Studio stuff. So that's the plan. This is the schedule. Make this white. So the 29th and forward are the sort of the finish everything up days. So I'll put that up here. Then at the end, after December 20, okay, I should say starting, then starting December 29th, you can go back and finish things up. Yep. Okay, I'll make that bold to really remind myself that I do have a safety net. Okay. Oh boy. All right, start placing bets on whether or not this plan fucking works and how much, because it's going to be an intense month. Like, it's going to be all goddamn day. Plus, I'm juggling my job with Huion, so I still have to do my day job stuff. Plus, potentially working on YouTube videos. Holy shit. But what's cool about this, I think, is that I'll be able to find days in which it's a little looser and I can actually, you know, I have a roadmap that I can look at and be like, well, you know, do I have time today, or should I save time to do a YouTube video or something like that on another day? This means I'm also gonna have to start waking up earlier. Okay, I think that's it. Is it? Is this the plan? Is that everything? I'm just modeling shit. I think it is. Okay, and we'll see how well this works. I think that's it. That's all I really wanted to stream tonight, was just kind of, oh, by the way, here's Paris. I kind of started getting some of this down. I think it's looking pretty good. The placement, this is not where it'll be. It wouldn't be like hovering out here. It'll be more inset. Like, let's see, can I select it like that and deselect these things? Wait, how do you do it? Like this? How do I deselect all this shit? There we go. I'm like trying to figure out how you like deselect things, and this is not working out. What the fuck? How do you like deselect this? Okay, it's selected, now it's deselected. That's deselected. This is deselected. Oh, weird. Wow. Dude, I swear to God, Blender is one of the fucking kookiest. Look at that. Like, how does this make any sense? Anyways, not gonna mess with that, but yeah. Eventually, I'll put all this stuff, I'll scooch it back into this space more. Try shift with the left click, or shift with right click. That's what I was doing. Because shift right click just puts your little cursor there. I was shift normal clicking, but look, it's doing it again. It's like not letting me select or deselect it. Like, what if I don't want either? Now I can't. Oh, Blender, how I hate you so much and love you too. But yeah, okay, that's all I really wanted to do. I just wanted to get this December 2021 master plan. So, oh, you know what I could do here? I could do kind of like a, go to my itch and go to my page, go to memories of a, or actually this is what I want to change. Edit profile and Memories of a Spy set to release on Steam 2021. Yeah, right. 2022, baby. Save. Nice. And then now let's go to my page. Boom. Memories of a Spy set to release on Steam 2022. Follow the devlog here. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so if you haven't already, go buy fucking Dream Diver. I have Dream Diver Deluxe out. It's $5. You help a guy like me out, it makes my life a little easier to manage. So if I've, you know, added any value to your life, you can always give back by grabbing this silly game that I've made. And there's also a Metroidvania course that I've put out. Link is in the description. It's a full-blown course on how to make a physics-based Metroidvania, and a lot of people have already said a lot of really awesome things about it. So it's tried and true. There's a couple things missing for edge cases that I'm going to be making little addendums for. Addendum, is that amendment? Addendum. Anyways, I'm going to be adding stuff to it later. But right now, it's a super solid course. And yeah, so that's it. All right, everybody, take care of yourselves. Thanks to everybody who swung by. Tony Hamilton, if you're still in the chat, thanks for swinging by. Human Goose was here. Sunny was here for a second. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Drink lots of water. Stay nice and hydrated. Don't eat too much. Don't eat too little. Cool it on the sugar. Cool it on the booze and the dope. Make sure you're spending time with the people that you love, your friends and your family. Get some exercise, and god damn it, get some sleep. Get like 8 hours of sleep if you can. 6 is okay, but really shoot for that solid, uninterrupted 8 hours of sleep. Yeah, and be nice to yourself. All those self-defeating thoughts and negative shit that you're telling yourself, like, don't do that. If you wouldn't say it to your friend, don't say it to yourself. All right, everybody, have a very good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, probably. All right, peace, peace, peace. Have a good night.